Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Back here with another build tutorial, and today we are doing the Gurney for the car, for the Ecto 1. And this is how I've done all the Gurneys. So the Gurney that is in the original Ecto 1, the Gurney that is in the 1A, which is actually that Gurney, and now this will be the Gurney that's in the Fantasy 1A, which is up here in the top corner, but I can't show you. It's done. The car is done, and it's going to be its own video, so be ready to see that. But today we are just doing a build tutorial on how I made modifications. I did work off of Lynn's, Mock's, Gurney, but made a lot of improvements. So I basically completely redid the whole Gurney, and it should it works a lot better. It rolls a lot better. It fits good. It works properly. Some of you have seen that in a past video. I actually did a side-by-side comparisons of my version to Lynn's Mock version. You guys can go back and see that video. But today we're going to do a build tutorial, and I'm not going to run through the entire parts list. If you guys want to pause this, just so you can see all the parts that you need to do this. There are 10 of these 4 long rods. These are a number 4 rod. And then there's 12 of these longer rods with the collars on them. 4 of those little stubby Technic connectors, or little pins with the with a connecting point on top. And then 2 of the free rolling pins. And then you guys can basically see what else you need. I'll just kind of go over it slowly. Nothing too crazy. These right here are all 1x1 sloped tiles. And then those right there are the 1x2 sloped tiles. But this will give you... I don't think I forgot any parts, because the hard part is I have to look at this and see all what I need. So I think I have all the parts here. If I do find that I need to grab another part, I will show you guys. So hopefully this is everything that it takes to build it. Don't worry about these parts off to the side here. It's just all these gray parts here. So we are going to get into this. So I can get my phone set up here. Alright, so first we're going to start with the body, so kind of the spine of the whole thing. Bear with me, I just have to take a minute to look at this and see what I have to do here. So I don't have a print out of instructions, so I have to look at the actual object to see what I did here. So. Alright, set that up there. So we're going to start with one of these long plates here. And see, I did change a couple things. I tried to make my parts list less. This first version that I'm looking at here, I used more parts than what I had to. Not sure why I did that, but I just got to try to figure out how I did things here. So we'll grab a couple of these clamps here. God, I hope I can get this in focus. My camera's not wanting to really focus on what's going on here. I want to give you guys a headache. So you take 2 of those clamps just like that, put them on the end, and then you can take your other long plate here, and I think I'm laying that on top. Yes, lay it on top. So get that pinched on really good. Whoops. Just dropping stuff here. So now that leaves you an overhang on that side. You take one of these 2x3 plates right here. Attach that. Now, take your other clamp pieces here. And then your little 1x2 plate fills that gap right there. So then that gives you basically the spine of the whole thing. And those, it's kind of hard to get in view here, but you guys can see those clamps are on the same plane with each other. Alright, so then we'll take another 2x3, put that right there. So now that strengthens up that whole side. And you can kind of see how that's put together. Let's see what my next step is here. Alright, so then we'll take one of these, put that there, and then we'll take one of these holders, put that just like that, and then one of these sloped pieces, just like that. So then you have that right there. Take our little pin holder, double-sided pin holder, put that there. And then so I'll have to count how many holes I have here. So looks like it's covering the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right there. Just like that. And then put our other little grab piece right there. Another one of these sloped pieces right there. So then that gives you that. So these are the two sets of axles that will fold up are going to be folded up over here, and then this is your lead set of wheels. This is the set of wheels that stays in the position that's going to roll into the car first, and that's basically how the actual Gurney was. There's a lead set of wheels that kind of sits up higher. You know, I can only do so much with Lego, but on the actual Gurney there's a lead set of wheels that sit up a little higher for the track, and those are the first wheels that go in, and it helps align the Gurney for the track as it goes into the car. So we got that, and then on the end here, all you got to do is just take one of these slope pieces and cap that off. So that's your whole base right there. We will start with the top stuff now. So these kind of click connectors here. Put a set just like that, and you can actually kind of build these up a little bit. It'll help for figuring out the spacing. You don't have to count. Won't have to count like so many studs. So do that. Then we'll take one of our tiles, put that there, and now from this assembly right here, it's one set of studs, and then you build your next one. So now you don't have to count out studs anymore. You just remember after you build that assembly, then it's just one set of studs. And I do leave these exposed so that way the packs can sit down in there further. That was something I changed. I had plates in there originally, and it still kept the pack up, sitting up too high, so this allows the pack to go all the way down in there. Gives it some nice stability. So think this is right. Nope. How am I messing this up? Oh. Okay, I see what I was messing up on. I was like, something ain't working out here, so... I'm forgetting about the railing holders. The railing holders... So on this one, I'll show you guys. On this one, you know, it's clear to the back, but here we have these pieces here that hold these side railings in. So I completely just spaced those off, so forgive me for that. So we'll actually do that. Now those are going to become part of that assembly the rest of the way. So there you guys can see that's going to just be a space ahead just like that. And then we'll use the plain regular 1x2 tile on that. So now we can put those parts on here. Just like that. And then put our tile back on there. So now the other two spots will be this assembly right here. So we'll just continue that on. We'll grab two more of these holders here. Go one space above there, or one set of studs forward. Put our tile just like that. Get those on there. Using these little graded tile details just to kind of add a little detail. If you want to, you know, if you don't like that and you want to use just a normal tile, that's always an option. This is just how I am doing it, just to add a little character, a little bit of detail. So now we're on our last set here. Get those aligned just like that. Get another tile on there. I think I grabbed one too many tiles, so I don't think you should only need 3 of these. And I ended up grabbing 4 of them, so just make a mental note of that. That you guys don't need that. We get that there. Put that there. And then on the very end here, then we do 2 converging tiles, just like that. And that gives that front pack something to sit down into where it's not going to go flying out forward. So now this is your whole assembly here for basically the whole spine of the unit. And let's see, I probably should do the railings next, because it is a little bit easier if you remove these parts to get the railings in. So I'm gonna do this middle set of railings right here. Or not, yeah, it's kind of the middle set right there. So we're gonna do those next. So what we'll do is we will take one of these nice round 1x2s with the pass-through holes, connect it on the end, and you just want to mirror your process on the other side. It's just like that. And we'll take these shafts with these rods with these collars on them. You basically just kind of run them in by eye. Once you get all of the railings on, then you can adjust the lengths of them and all that stuff. Sorry guys, trying to keep stuff in the camera here. Whoops. And what I'll do now is just kind of check my distances. So I need to push those in a little bit further. Try to get it close. And like I said, if you guys are just building your first one, you'll just have to kind of get them in there and then adjust them once they're on the gurney. So you can see I'm pretty much right on the money on that side. I think I went a little too far in on this other side here. Try to adjust that up. We'll just get it nice and close, and then we'll put the bottom ones in, which will go in a little bit easier because they're just going through that 1x2. We'll just kind of line those up. So now that gives us that whole unit right there. Now I can put that back on to the frame of the gurney. And you can start to see why it's a little bit easier to put those on. You know, take these off and assemble the rods through there and then put them back on. Makes it a lot easier. Especially these N1s, because these N1s have two of these 1x1 or 1x2s on there. So we'll start off with putting two of these on here, just like that. We'll take a couple of our rods with the collars on them, and actually let's see, how did I do these here? So these are gonna be flipped around and go in like this. So the collar is gonna be on the far side here. And I'll just kind of run those in at first here, and then I'll go and kind of check my distances on those. God, my camera's not focusing on this stuff. Sorry guys if this is like super blurry and crappy. It's kind of hard to get those to come into focus for some reason. Slide those in a little bit further. Maybe not quite that far. Alright, put two more in there. Try to slide those up close to where those other ones are. Like I said, are probably not where they need to be, but they're close. So then that gives you that right there. Now, on these ends, take two more of these 1x2s and press these on clear up to the collar till they lock into that. Oop. And gloves get stuck in these too. Alright. And just make sure those are seated all the way in there on both sides. So then you should wind up with a piece that looks like this. And now I'm gonna check my distances here on this one, and I'm pretty close. Need to come in a little bit more. And it's nice now that these are attached, because now these want to move together a little bit. It's a little bit of a hard push to get those. So watch your fingers, because you will have to kind of persuade those to push in a little bit harder. So those are pretty close. They might be just a touch too far. So I'm going to take one of my little straightener plates. I'll just do this separately a little bit here. So adjust that back just a bit. Check my distances here. Pretty much right on the money with that one. So we'll check this other side here. See how much further we need to go. We're pretty close. I'm a little... You guys can see one of those is a little bit higher than the other, so basically I'm just going to try to level those out. So they're pretty much level with each other. We'll check it again. And those are pretty much right on the money. Like I said, you're gonna have to do some adjusting once they're all together on the gurney, because then they're gonna fight with each other on the ends here, and you don't want them to be too tight, and you don't want them to be too loose. Like, see, that's a little tight right there, but I'm bowing out just a little bit there, but I can try to hold this, turn that towards that just a little bit, and they'll kind of self-adjust once they're in there, and you can have them in there. So, and then since these bottom parts aren't trapped, it's just up at the top here. You just take your bottoms and you pinch them into the frame. So I'm basically just putting pressure on these two right here to pinch them in towards the frame. So now we just have this last back half to do here. And that's basically going to be the exact same process as that one that we just did. The two end ones are a little bit more difficult. So we'll just let's see, did I slide that in the right way? Yeah, for that side. And you can take one of your 1x2s at the pass-through, put that on there, get that locked into that just like so. And I'm actually going to check my distance on that, because then once I get this set, that's way too far forward. Once I get this set, then I can get the lower one lined up with it. Alright, that's pretty close right there. Pretty close. So then we'll come in with our other rod here. Get that. Try to get it leveled up with that other one. Like I said, these lower ones are a little bit easier to move because they're not going through two things like the top ones are. So that's that. So I'm going to put plate back on that, or the tile. Set that aside. We'll get this other one set up. And I just have to make sure to... Oop, that's not the right thing. I just have to make sure that it's a mirror image of what we just built right there. So I want to face this way. I want this to face outwards, away from me. And we are right there. Oh my god. This damn gloves get stuck in there. Alright, I'll grab one of our plates here. Push that on just like that, and now I'm going to push that through just a little bit more and check it with the one I just did. So I went a little bit too far, so we'll kind of back that out just a bit. So the hardest part about this gurney is these railings, just to get them set in a nice placement. It is kind of a time-consuming thing. That's pretty close, so then we'll take our bottom one now, put that in through the back end of that. See how these are lined up? That can come in just a little bit more. So that's pretty close to each other right there. Let's see, before I put those together, we can cap the ends of those off with these here. So I'm going to try not to move those too much there while I put these on. Just slide those right up to those collars. That'll also kind of, you guys can see I'm a little too high up on that one. Most of those collars aren't the same size. So that's in there as far as that goes. So I guess one's just a little bit thicker, has a little bit thicker collar than the other one. So that gives you that piece right there. And let's grab this other one. Slide that on like so, and I did get out of adjustment with that one there. This one's just up just a little too high. Sorry guys, trying to see what I'm doing on the camera and in person, and it's a little difficult here. So now we have that. I'm gonna check my distances here again, just to see how far out I am. Looks like I'm not far in enough. We're pretty close. It's pretty close. We're pretty close, so we'll get it on there, and then we'll do some adjusting if need be here. So we'll flip that around, and that'll go in place right there. So now you guys can see fighting just a little bit on there. We have a pretty big gap on this side, so I'll hold this plate, kind of hold this as I push those into that. And we'll just kind of visually check things, make sure we're kind of lined up on our sides there. Everything looks pretty decent. Looks like we might be a little tweaked on that one. And I mean, they're not going to line up absolutely 100% perfect because there's no definitive connection for those. They're basically just there to look like a railing. So, like I said, you can spend a while adjusting. This one came out pretty decent, not too bad. So that's the hard part, is just getting all of those straightened out. So next, we will put all of these, click these into place here. Let's try to get all my parts where I can see them here. My gloves straightened out here. All right. And it's kind of a rinse and repeat thing here. Just use up all of these parts, getting those put into place. So now that we got all those on there, you can actually, whoops, these are brand new, so they are very stiff. So you lay those back 2 positions. I believe it's 2 positions. Let me check. Yep. So just hold the front, put them back 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now those are in their positions that they're going to be in. So now we can take our tiles here, or our graded tiles, little radiator tiles that they call them. Put those on the bottom, and like I said, you can use just regular tiles for this. I just like adding those in there for a little bit of extra detail, a little bit of texture. And I will take these modified plates here, put those on the top position. Actually, I'm going to put my 1x1 tiles on those first, because then it's going to be easier to straighten them. So, you only have 2 studs on these, so you only have 2 spots for your tiles to go, but you want to make sure they're coming together there, so that way your pack is held in there. So you just do that, build 4 of those. Get those, and I'll come back and line those up with my little tool there. So that'll kind of save me some time. That's why I decided it's just easier to build these off of the gurney. Then you can get them lined up and get them ready to go before you put them back on there. So now I can just take those, straighten them up a bit. Just make sure they're pressed on there pretty good. Alright. So now that those are done, we simply just center them up and click them into place just like that right there, and then that gives you your whole little spot where the pack's gonna go. So now we have the whole top end is done. On the sides here, where these are, you want to take these 4 long rods here, and we'll just get them on there, and then we'll try to center them up. And this is basically just going to be by how good your eye is with centering things. And someday I really need to invest in some cutting mats on here, because this table creates static, and these perfectly round parts like to float around however they want to. So you guys can see those are not in the best position right now, and those are really off. So now we'll just try to visually straighten them up, and I'll kind of use my tool a little bit here too. Just kind of want to get them to where they look they look even on both sides just like that, and they're lined up with each other. You don't want them too far out one way or too far the other way, because they will catch on stuff in the car. The length of these is kind of your max amount of room in the car. So you definitely want to make sure that these are pretty close. And I'll come back and check those. I'm not going to bore you guys too much with that. But just make sure that these are out the same amount and they're centered up in here. Because if they're not, like I said, they'll get caught on stuff in there. So now we're going to work on the axles. So the one side, your lead wheels, just take a pin, put it in there. Take your other pin, put it in there. Take a set of your wheels, put it on there, and take another set of wheels and put it on there. Now, one thing that I haven't really been able to figure out too well is these, and I've tried to fix this issue by shifting some of this stuff around, but these wheels do rub on this just a little bit. So just making sure things are, adjusted back as far as they can be will kind of help it roll a little bit better. That side's not too bad. So now we'll take these little clamps here. We'll just build all of put our rods in here. If you're wondering why I'm rolling stuff around a lot and looking for specific positions on a part that's essentially the same all the way around, those mold cutouts right there where the part was actually fed through the mold, I try to hide those as much as possible on all Lego sets that I build. With brick parts, whatever, it doesn't matter what the part is, if it has that on it, I do my best to hide it or face them a certain way where they are not really seen all the time. I know a lot of people complain that Lego has some pretty nasty overcast on some of their stuff, and some of their parts do have some pretty rough areas on those casting spots, but it is what it is. And actually, I messed that up. Leave two of those. Leave two of these without anything on it. You basically want 4 rods with two of these connectors on each side, because 2 of those are going to be your axles. So. And you can run those all the way up till they stop. There's no trying to fidget with a certain distance on those. Don't have to worry about that. Just put those in there. Do make sure, press them down, make sure they're kind of in line with each other. They're not too far off. So now you got 4 of those. You got 2 of these. So I'm actually going to take these pins and whatever the front of the wheel that you want it to be, like I said, I'm hiding casting marks as much as possible. So I don't know if you can see it on the back of this tire and on the back of the wheel. You can see some casting marks right there. So I like to put them on the clean side. So put your pins on whatever side you want the back of the wheel to be. I've already set these out so I know which are the front and which are the back. You can just push those in. And now we're not going to worry about distance here too much. Oh boy. We're not going to worry about distance too much on these right now. I'm just going to get these on here. And then do that with your other set. You can even put them in a little bit further. So now you have 2 sets just like this. Take your top set, if I can get this in view, might have to adjust these just a little bit closer and get them on there. Click those into place. Same thing with this side here. Click those up into place. Some little spread on the bottom here. Now these are going to be have a spread to them, but I'll show you what we'll do here. So I'm trying to make sure I got all this in view for you guys here. So now we'll take our wheels. I'm not going to slide them on all the way. I'm just going to try to get them started. They will kind of go all the way. But I'll leave them out just a little bit there so that you guys can see I'm not completely bottomed out on that axle or on that rod. Now I'll hold my finger up against this other end here as I push this other one in. So now I'll take my two plates here, and you want to get them squared up on there. Push your axles in all the way, or your wheels all the way onto that rod, and then with your other finger as you're holding that, spread these out as far as they'll spread. What that does is that gets your axle right to the edge of that wheel and that pin, and then that also gets these spread out as far as they will go. And you guys can see there's a very slight spread to that, but it's all in line, it's all symmetrical with each other as long as you have a nice flat surface to get those wheels positioned. And I'll show you that again on this one. So we'll get these on here. Try to do this up off of that too. I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but I'm just showing you guys. So I've got those. I'm squeezing on all that right now, so then I'll take my thumb and finger, spread those out as far as I can while keeping pressure. And then even if it's tweaked a little bit, just lay them down on that, and then that gives you your axles right there. And you guys can see the same thing. That rod is all the way out to the edge of that pin in the wheel, and then these just have kind of a slight spread to them, but they're all in the middle. And that is the gurney. Now, my design can actually hold the packs up, because if you these have a center point of when they're open. If you overthrow them just a bit, you can see they rest right up against there, and that kind of gives a nice spot for that to lean. Well, now I can put a lot of pressure on that, and you guys can see it's not collapsing those axles. That old style had these kind of coming in at angles, so when you would lay a weight down on them, they'd spread and the gurney would hit the floor. And this lead set of wheels was in the middle. That's not right. The lead set of wheels should be in the front. Just make sure you got, the packs are facing the right way for when they go in and out of the car. And I can, let's see if I can, now I can take my packs. And these are my redesigned packs you guys got to see in the last video. And those sit in there really nice. You guys can see the gurney can easily hold the weight of those, no problem. And now I don't know if I can show you guys. Have it go in the car. I might wait to do the video for the car to show you guys how the gurney goes in there now, how it goes in there as it should. But for right now, I'll just explain. You know, you'll slide it in this way. Your lead wheels are going to hit the track first, and then as the bumper hits these, it'll fold that under, and then you have these wheels, your lead wheels, leading it in, and then that last set will close up, and the gurney will slide in really nice. I think I've demonstrated that before, but like I said, once I do the video for the car itself here, I'll push that in so that way you guys can see that. But that's it. That's how the gurney is done. I really like the redesign of the gurney, and now with my redesign of the packs, it looks super cool. I love how this whole setup looks. Everything works as it should. The gurney is sturdy. You guys can see that I can shake this quite a bit and the packs stay on the gurney. So I did a good job of making sure my packs were designed not only so they look good, but they hold in there good. And the gurney just works more properly this way. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry some stuff might have not been in focus, but hopefully you get the gist of it. You got the parts. All I had was that one extra tile that I didn't need, so we did have all the parts that I needed to accomplish that. So biggest thing is just making sure afterwards that all your stuff lines up really nice. Make sure these end supports line up really nice and they're perfectly centered so that way your gurney slides in and out really good. I really am happy with the complete redesign of all of this. It just looks so much better. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that tutorial, and until next time, take care.